Hello there, this is Talk and it is Petri here with you, and joining me now is my brother from another mother, Burton Kelso, Chief Tech Expert at Integral in Kansas City, USA. Burton, it has been a minute.
It has been a minute. How have you been?
I've been good, how about you?
I'm doing great. Just traveling the country speaking about AI and cybersecurity and all that other stuff, you
Oh
know?
yeah, maybe we should talk about digital IDs at some point.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, gateway to a disaster area. But let's start, Burton, talking about the end of Windows 10. Who's still
Yes.
using Windows?
Well, I mean, the sad thing is that if you've got a Windows 10 computer, it's still a working computer. But obviously, Microsoft wants you to go to 11. But the bad news is, up until a few days ago, people in Europe weren't going to be able to up or keep or extend their support for Windows 10. They were going to only offer that to people in the US. Isn't that crazy? But
Why?
Microsoft changed their mind. Who knows? Probably greed.
Yeah. So, I mean, 10 is relatively new, right? So it's just being replaced by 11. That is greedy and rude, isn't it? Just to cut people off.
Well, 10 is about 10 years old.
Oh,
so
is
we're
it
at
now?
the off point. But at the same time, there are computers that can run 10 that are capable, but they're not able to update to 11. So we're talking about computers that you may have purchased 2 or 3 years ago, which is new, but Microsoft has made it so you can't update those computers from 10 to 11. But what they're doing now is offering an extended update for individuals for another year. You can get your security updates, and for some businesses, up to 3 years. So it's good that they've had this change of heart. But I mean, it's just one of those great mysteries of the unknown why they were just going to offer that only to people in the US.
It's really interesting, isn't it, though, with these makers, these manufacturers, they just build in obsolescence so that we have no choice but to get a new iPhone. We know that the batteries start to degrade. We know that. That is a built-in design. Something that clever surely could have built a cleverer battery. Things like they try to switch out the chargers, so you have to buy new headphones and charger. You know, all of that. It is pretty disgusting to treat your customers in that way.
It is. And Apple, I would have to say, is worse than Microsoft. Apple, you're probably getting the most 5 years out of any Apple product. And this whole tariff situation is horrible because I rushed out and got a new iPhone because I thought the tariffs were going to have this big effect as far as the purchase price for my iPhone.
And it
Sad.
didn't.
It didn't. Well, I mean, there's
Yet.
a little increase, but not major.
Yeah. Yet. I think a lot of them those big tariffs are due to kick in. I just think it's terrible. I mean, they do it with washing machines. They do it with everything now. That they're only supposed to last, you know, a couple of years at max, and then you buy another one. I saw a story today about a woman who'd bought a £1,200 television set, and within 2 years it was defunct, and they're not giving them any money. They're just saying, no, that's the lifespan, that's it, you know.
That's it.
Buy a new one. It's disgusting.
Right.
Absolutely disgusting.
It is.
OpenAI chat. This is a really, really sad story, isn't it? But it doesn't stand alone, unfortunately. It's young people getting really seriously bad instructions from, you know, all sorts of online practices telling them to self-harm, some suicides that are caused every year by this kind of thing.
Yeah, but I'm not going to completely blame AI on this. I blame parents for not being responsible and checking up what their kids do on their electronic devices, because any piece of technology can be turned from good to bad. Apple AirTags, you can track your devices, but you can also track people. Same thing with AI. I mean, you can put in stuff that's going to give you good content, but at the same time, if you put in negative material, it's going to spit it out. And the problem with technology and young minds don't know how to handle technology. So parents need to be a little bit more responsible and, you know, keep up with their kids and understand not every piece of technology that comes out is going to be a good fit for your kid. You have to really judge and understand how it works and if it's going to be a good fit.
I mean, it's really, this is a sad. It's a young teenager who died, didn't he, by suicide after the AI was telling him about coaching him on methods of self-harm. But like you said, these are not. I mean, it's called artificial intelligence, but it really will only answer the question you ask it, right?
That's correct. And it's just yanking information off of the internet. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not some self-aware, self-thinking robot. So I think it's a good thing that OpenAI has started the precedence of installing parental controls in Chat GPT. And I think they would have done it before, but they didn't realize that so many young people were going to jump on the AI wagon. So good for them to roll it out this month, meaning the upcoming month of October. But I think other AI tools will obviously follow suit. And so you'll see parental controls in just about every AI tool out there because it's needed, obviously.
It is needed until artificial intelligence understands emotional intelligence. It will continue just to give the answers to these very harmful questions. That's the problem, isn't it?
Right.
What is Sora AI?
Sora AI is video creation and image creation AI from OpenAI, the people that create ChatGPT. So the whole purpose is that you can type in a sentence and it'll generate video that's pretty realistic. You can get anywhere from 5 to 20-second video clips, and Sora is not the only one. Gemini, meaning Google, Grok, which is Elon Musk's AI tool, will generate video. But the big thing with Sora AI and its video now, they're telling copyright holders, if you don't want your stuff included in our Sora 2.0, you need to write us a letter so that we'll keep it out, which I think is pretty horrible. I mean, I think
That's terrible.
it is. So you don't know until it's on the internet and you're like, oh, this is our copyrighted material. But then you have to write OpenAI and say, yeah, we want to opt out of that. So any intellectual property from movie studios, from authors, you name it, you have to opt out. So I shouldn't say buyer beware. If you've got a copyright on something and it's either image or video, you better write OpenAI right now so that your intellectual property doesn't show up in any AI tool.
That is disgraceful that people have to opt out. It should be the other way round. It should be that permission is sought from these artists and then can be denied, because opting out, that would be quite complicated. You'd have to prove that you had copyright on it. You'd have to prove that it was your original artwork. You would have to prove that all sorts of things and show them an example of it. And I mean, that is a major ask.
Yes, it's a arduous task if you have copyright on just about anything. But I think, Petri, that the video AI race has ramped up so much and everyone wants to stay competitive. They want to be able to allow people to create that borderline intellectual property stuff, from popular cartoons to superheroes to even movie characters. So they want that ability for people to create that. And they're telling people, well, if you don't want that, you got to contact us. And it's not really clear how that's going to be done.
That is appalling. These big tech companies really take the biscuit, don't they? Talking of tech, and we've got a real problem around the world at the moment with data breaches and hackers. I guess we can suspect where it's coming from, but this is about nurseries here in London that were hacked, and photographs of children being held for ransom.
Yeah, not only in the UK, but over in the US, and I forget what other countries. I'm trying to think of the company that does that. Now I got to cheat. Kiddo Nursery.
Kiddos nurseries, yeah.
Yeah, they've got them in US, India, and China. So there are global companies. But the challenge is, again, with cybercrime, is that it's a human problem. So these companies that hold our information need to do a better job of protecting us from criminals, because that's all they're after now. Not just pieces of data, but they also want our images too. And these companies need to do a better job, especially when you have Kiddo, a company that spans across 3 continents. You've got to do better to protect our data. And it's really sad, especially innocent children. I think this is probably one of the worst things I've seen in a while as far as data breaches are concerned.
Yeah, I mean, photographs of children, being held to ransom. I mean, those parents must be beside themselves. But why is it, we're constantly now almost being forced to use digital options and online banking, and I know we're further forward than the US with banking and banking apps and things like that, but you don't have any choice. So it used to be a choice, and then they shut down the high street banks, so you don't have a choice anymore, for example. And yet they don't look after our data well enough, or they're lagging behind the hackers. It just seems to be so unfair that we don't have any choice but to use these systems. And then I've just been talking about the NHS going digital. That's our medical information, that's private conversations with a doctor being held digitally. I don't trust them.
I don't either, especially when you can go to specific websites and see that companies are being breached daily, globally. So I mean, there's a problem, but the problem's not the hackers, because they're doing what they do. They're criminals. Yeah. They do criminal work. It's these companies that realize that there are cyber criminals out there definitely need to do a better job at protecting data. That's why it's out of hand.
It's completely, I mean, as I said to you at the beginning, they're now mandating that we have digital IDs over my dead body. But, it's just, governments have an appalling record. I mean, look at the American government. They handed all the digital information on each and every single one of you to a bunch of teenagers that were in Doge. I mean, they don't care about our data. That's the problem.
No, and obviously with data, whether it's images or just data, raw data, there's money to be made. Yeah. I mean, billions to be made. So, I mean, that's the ultimate choice that these companies give out the information. And the sad thing, I think a lot of the parent companies are responsible. The challenge is they give a lot of this data to third-party vendors who are really lax and think, well, no one's going to know about us. And you've got a data breach out there. So I think the moral of the story is you can still be selective and have your information removed off the internet or off specific sites. I mean, in the U.S., California's got a privacy law, and I think more states are going to adopt that. And I think more people are starting to wise up and realize that you need to make sure any personal information that you can keep off the internet, you need to do so. Yeah,
I use a company called Delete Me.
I was going to throw that out there. That's perfect.
Yeah. That's perfect. Every month they go through everything and the amount of times my name, my address, my age, I mean, it's just like, so they just clean it all off.
Good for you, and I'm glad you gave them a plug on. Yeah. I'm glad you gave them a plug on air, because Delete Me is one of the excellent services. So in UK price, how much is Delete Me a month?
Oh, it's hardly anything. I mean, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. It's a really good service. I keep as much of my stuff offline as I possibly can. Burton, it's lovely to see you. It really is a joy. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you soon. You stay well. Burton Kelso there. Quick break, and then it's time to look at movies.